Naomi Carter stood frozen outside a luxury penthouse in Seoul, her boyfriend's favorite meal cooling in her hands. Inside, Jae Hyun-kang, her boyfriend of 3 years, Seoul's most feared mafia boss, laughed with his men. Then came the words that shattered everything. Marry her? I'd rather die. She was never his future, just temporary, useful, beautiful, replaceable. That night, Naomi vanished from his world completely. But 2 weeks later, his most trusted lieutenant, Jun Park, found her. And this time, someone saw her differently. Like and comment what city you're watching from so I can see how far this story travels. The container of japchae was still warm when Naomi reached the penthouse. She'd taken the subway 3 stops out of her way to pick it up from the place Jae-hyun liked, the one tucked behind the hotel in Gangnam, where the owner knew his order by heart. Beef, extra mushrooms, less oil. She knew these details the way someone knows the pattern of their own breathing, automatic, unquestioned, carved into her routine over 3 years. The elevator rose smooth and silent, the kind of silence that cost money. Naomi adjusted the bags in her grip and caught her reflection in the mirrored wall. Dark skin, hair pulled back tight, minimal makeup. She'd stopped trying to look a certain way for him months ago. He never noticed either way. Floor 42. The hallway stretched long and empty, all marble and recessed lighting. His door sat at the end like a mouth waiting to swallow her whole. She raised her hand to knock, then stopped. Voices. Low. Male. Filtered through the crack beneath the door. Naomi hesitated, fingers hovering over the wood. Jae-hyun didn't like surprises, didn't like being interrupted when he had people over. She should have texted first, should have asked, but the food was getting cold. She pressed closer to the door, listening. Marriage? Someone said. The voice was unfamiliar, rough around the edges. Come on, Hyung. 3 years is a long time. People talk. A pause. Then laughter. Jae-hyun's laughter. Cold, sharp. The kind that didn't reach his eyes even when you could see his face. Marry her? His voice cut through the door like glass. I'd rather die. Naomi's breath stopped. She's good for now, Jae-hyun continued, casual as ordering coffee. Convenient. Doesn't ask questions, knows her place. But marriage? To her? Another voice chimed in, younger, eager to agree. She's not exactly... She's black. Jae-hyun's tone didn't change. Flat, matter of fact. My family would lose their minds. The board would question my judgment. And for what? A woman who works retail and heats up my dinner? More laughter. Lower this time, complicit. She's fine for what she is, Jae-hyun said. But she's not wife material, not for my world. I'll need someone with the right background eventually, someone who fits. The bag slipped from Naomi's fingers. She caught it before it hit the floor, but the movement felt distant, like watching someone else's hands move. Her pulse hammered in her ears. Her throat closed. Inside, the conversation shifted. Someone mentioned a shipment. Numbers. Dates. The words blurred together. Naomi stood there, frozen, staring at the door. At the brushed steel handle she'd touched 1,000 times. At the small scuff mark near the bottom she'd noticed 6 months ago and never mentioned. 3 years. 3 years of rearranging her schedule around his. Of learning Korean phrases to impress his mother, who smiled to her face and whispered to his father when she left the room. Of pretending not to notice when he took calls at 2 a.m. and came home smelling like someone else's perfume. 3 years of telling herself it would get better. That he'd see her. Really see her. She'd been so stupid. Naomi turned, walked back down the hallway. The elevator doors opened immediately, like they'd been waiting for her. She stepped inside and watched the numbers drop. 42, 38, 25. Her hands didn't shake until she hit the lobby. The night air in Seoul bit cold against her face. Naomi walked without direction, the bag of food still clutched in one hand, phone in the other. She didn't remember pulling it out, didn't remember opening her messages. But there was Kimmy's name at the top of the screen. Naomi's fingers moved. I need to disappear. 3 dots appeared immediately. Then, where are you? Gangnam, near his place. Don't move. I'm coming. Naomi sat down on a bench outside a convenience store. A group of teenagers passed by, laughing, shoving each other. Someone's phone blasted K-pop. The world kept moving like nothing had changed. But everything had changed. The food was cold now. Naomi looked down at it, at the containers she'd carried across the city like they mattered. Like she mattered. She dropped the bag in the trash can beside the bench. Kimmy pulled up 20 minutes later in her beaten Honda, double-parked with the hazards flashing. She took one look at Naomi's face and didn't ask questions, just leaned over and pushed the passenger door open. "Get in." Naomi climbed inside. The car smelled like vanilla air freshener and old coffee. Kimmy pulled into traffic without checking her mirrors, cutting off a taxi. The driver laid on his horn. Kimmy flipped him off. "You look like hell," Kimmy said. "I feel like hell." "What happened?" Naomi told her. Every word, every laugh, every casual cruelty delivered through 6 inches of wood and steel. Kimmy's hands tightened on the wheel. "That piece of shit. I was so stupid. Stop. Don't do that." Kimmy jerked the car into a turn, barely making the light. "You weren't stupid. You were hopeful. There's a difference. Hopeful about a man who thinks I'm convenient. Hopeful about a man who didn't deserve you. Also a difference." They drove in silence for a while. The city blurred past, neon signs, late-night restaurants, couples walking hand in hand. Naomi watched it all and felt nothing. "I need to leave," she said finally. "Leave where? Seoul?" "His life. Completely. No contact, no trace. Nothing he can use to find me." Kimmy glanced over. "You're serious?" "He doesn't lose things, Kimmy. You know that. If I just break up with him, he'll see it as a challenge. He'll find me. He'll convince me I misunderstood, and I'll be stupid enough to believe him." "So what are you saying?" "I'm saying I need to disappear tonight, right now, before he even knows I was there." Kimmy drove another block thinking, then she nodded. "Okay, we'll do it." "Just like that?" "You're my best friend. If you say you need to ghost a mafia boss, we ghost a mafia boss." She grinned, sharp and fierce. "Besides, I've been waiting for you to wake up for 2 years." They went back to Naomi's apartment, the small studio she'd kept even after Jae-hyun offered to move her somewhere nicer. He'd called it quaint. She'd called it independence. Now she called it a lifeline. Kimmy sat on the bed while Naomi packed. Not everything, just enough. Clothes, documents, the few things that mattered. "Phone," Kimmy said. "What?" "Your phone. He tracks it, doesn't he?" Naomi's stomach dropped. "I don't know, maybe. Definitely. Men like him always do." Kimmy held out her hand. "Give it here." Naomi handed it over. Kimmy pulled out the SIM card, snapped it in half, and tossed the phone on the bed. "You'll get a new one tomorrow. Burner, cash only. New number." "What about work?" "Call in sick, then quit. Email from a library computer or something. Don't give them a forwarding address." "My lease?" "We'll figure it out, one thing at a time." Kimmy stood up, grabbed the half-full duffel bag. "You're staying with me tonight. Tomorrow we make a plan. But right now, we move." They left the apartment at 2 in the morning. Naomi didn't look back. Kimmy's place was across town, a narrow 2-bedroom above a restaurant that served gamjatang until 4 a.m. The smell of pork bone soup seeped through the floorboards. Kimmy's roommate was out of town for the week, so Naomi took the empty room, bare except for a futon and a broken lamp. She didn't sleep, just lay there staring at the ceiling, replaying Jae-hyun's words. Convenient. Doesn't ask questions, knows her place. How long had he felt that way? From the beginning? Or had she become less over time, eroded down to something useful but not valuable? Her phone was gone. The SIM card destroyed, but she could still feel it vibrating in her pocket, phantom notifications from a life that no longer existed. Morning came gray and cold. Kimmy made instant coffee and sat across from her at the tiny kitchen table. "You okay?" "No." "Good. That's honest." Kimmy stirred sugar into her mug. "So what's the plan? Long term, I mean." "I don't know yet." "You need money?" "I have some saved. Not much." "I can float you if—" "No, I'm not taking your money, Kim." "Then what? You can't hide forever. Seoul's not that big." Naomi wrapped her hands around the mug, absorbing the heat. "I'll find work. Something different. Maybe teaching English again. Private lessons under the table." And if he looks for you, he won't find me. Kimmy didn't look convinced, but she didn't argue. 2 days passed, then a week. Naomi bought a burner phone with cash. New number. Only Kimmy had it. She quit her retail job via email from a PC bang, citing family emergency. No forwarding information. She moved through the city like a ghost. Different neighborhoods, different routines, never the same coffee shop twice. And Jaehyun didn't call, because he didn't know she'd left. Didn't know she'd been there at all. The realization settled over her like ice. He hadn't even noticed she was gone. On day 9, Kimmy came home with news. I heard something, she said, dropping her bag on the couch. From Soo-jin. You remember her, right? Works at that lounge in Itaewon? What kind of something? Your ex is losing his mind. Naomi's chest tightened. What do you mean? I mean, he's tearing the city apart looking for you, calling in favors, sending people to your old apartment, your old job. He showed up at your gym. I haven't been to that gym in months. He doesn't know that. He's desperate, Naomi, like actually desperate. Good. Kimmy raised an eyebrow. Good? He doesn't get to dismiss me for 3 years and then act like I'm the one who wronged him. I'm not saying you should feel bad for him. I'm saying be careful. Men like Jaehyun don't handle rejection well, especially public rejection. It's not public, no one knows. Yet. Kimmy sat down. But if he keeps pushing, people will talk, and when people talk, things get messy. Naomi didn't respond, just stared at the wall, thinking. Jaehyun Kang, the man who controlled half of Seoul's underground, couldn't control her disappearance. The irony wasn't lost on her. But Kimmy was right. Desperation made men dangerous. The second week began like the first, careful, quiet, invisible. Naomi found work teaching English to businessmen, private sessions paid in cash. She moved into a gosiwon, one of those tiny box rooms students rented, and kept her head down. Then Kimmy invited her out. Just for one night, she said. You've been living like a fugitive. You need air, human contact, a drink. I don't think that's a good idea. It's a private lounge, very exclusive. No one from his world goes there. You don't know that. I do, actually. It's owned by a friend of mine, totally separate circles. Naomi wanted to say no, should have said no. But she was tired. Tired of hiding, tired of being afraid. One drink, she said finally. One drink, Kimmy agreed. The lounge was underground, literally, down 2 flights of stairs into a space that felt more like someone's living room than a bar. Low lighting, leather couches, jazz playing soft in the background. Kimmy's friend greeted them at the door, a tall woman named Hana with sharp cheekbones and sharper eyes. Kim didn't tell me you were bringing someone beautiful, Hana said, smiling. Naomi, Hana, Naomi. They shook hands. Hana's grip was firm. First drinks on the house, Hana said. Sit anywhere. They claimed a corner table. Kimmy ordered whiskey. Naomi ordered wine and immediately regretted it. Too sweet, too weak. But she drank it anyway. The lounge filled slowly. Professionals mostly. People in tailored suits having quiet conversations. No one loud, no one dangerous. Naomi started to relax. Then the door opened, and Jun Park walked in. Naomi recognized him immediately. Chae-hyun's right hand, his oldest friend, the man who stood behind him in every photo, silent and watchful. Her pulse spiked. She looked down, turning her face away. What? Kimmy asked. Don't look, just don't turn around. Why? What's... Kimmy started to turn. I said don't. Too late. Jun's eyes swept the room and landed on them, on Naomi. For a moment, neither of them moved. Then Jun walked over. Naomi Carter. His voice was quiet, controlled. It's been a while. Naomi forced herself to look up. Jun, mind if I sit? Actually, I do mind, Kimmy cut in sharp. We're having a private conversation. Jun glanced at her, then back at Naomi. I'm not here to cause trouble. Then why are you here? Same reason as you, a drink. He pulled out the chair across from Naomi and sat down anyway. Jaehyun's looking for you. I know. He's worried. He'll live. Jun's mouth twitched, not quite a smile. You left without a word. Disappeared completely. He thinks something happened to you. Something did happen to me. I woke up. To what? To the truth. June leaned back, studying her. His face gave away nothing. You overheard the conversation. It wasn't a question. Naomi's throat tightened. Yes. And you left because of what he said. Wouldn't you? June didn't answer immediately. He looked at her for a long moment, something shifting behind his eyes. Then he nodded. Probably. Kimmy made a noise. Okay, this is great. Very cathartic, but we're leaving. Wait. June's hand moved, not reaching for them, just a gesture. I'm not going to tell him I saw you. Naomi blinked. What? I won't tell him you were here, that you're okay, any of it. Why not? Because you don't want me to. The simplicity of it caught her off guard. What's the catch? Kimmy asked, suspicious. No catch, June stood up. But I need to know one thing. What? Naomi asked. Are you safe? Really safe? Yes. Good. He looked at her one more time, something unreadable in his expression. Then he turned and walked back to the bar. Kimmy grabbed Naomi's arm. We're leaving, right now. They left through this back exit, spilling out into an alley that smelled like garbage and rain. Kimmy didn't stop walking until they were 3 blocks away. What the hell was that? She demanded. I don't know. He just let you go. Jae-hyun's attack dog just let you walk away. June's not his attack dog, isn't he? Naomi didn't answer, because she didn't know anymore. June Park had always been a shadow in Jae-hyun's world. Present, but not central. Loyal, but not loud. She'd spoken to him maybe a dozen times in 3 years, always in passing, always surface level. But tonight he'd looked at her differently, like he saw something Jae-hyun never had. The thought followed her home, kept her awake. 3 days later, she saw him again. Not at the lounge. At a coffee shop in Hongdae, the kind of place students camped out with laptops and iced Americanos. Naomi was meeting a client, a marketing exec who wanted to polish his English presentations. June was sitting by the window. Their eyes met across the room. He didn't smile, didn't wave, just acknowledged her with a small nod. Naomi's client arrived. She focused on the lesson, on correcting pronunciation and smoothing out grammar, but she felt June's presence the entire time, a weight at the edge of her vision. When the client left, she packed her things slowly. June was still there. She could leave through the side door, avoid him completely. Instead, she walked to his table. Are you following me? She asked. June looked up. No. This is a coincidence? I come here a lot. Have for years. He gestured to the window. Good light. Quiet. Naomi glanced at his table. A book lay open beside his coffee. No laptop. No phone. What are you reading? He showed her the cover. Camus, The Stranger. Heavy choice for a coffee shop. I like heavy. She should walk away, should thank him for not telling Jae-hyun and leave. But she didn't. Why didn't you tell him? She asked. June closed the book. Because you asked me not to. We barely know each other. I know enough. Like what? Like you deserve better than what he gave you. And you're smart enough to know it. The words hit different than she expected. Not flattering, just factual. He's your best friend, Naomi said. He is. Doesn't that matter? It does. But so does this. June looked at her directly. You're not coming back to him, are you? No. Good. Naomi frowned. Why do you care? June picked up his coffee, took a slow sip. Maybe I don't. Or maybe I've been watching someone stay too long in the wrong place and I'm relieved they finally left. That's cryptic. It's honest. They sat in silence for a moment. Outside, the street filled with late afternoon crowds, students, tourists, couples. I should go, Naomi said. Probably. But she didn't move. Neither did he. Can I ask you something? June said finally. Depends on the question. Did you love him? Really love him? Naomi thought about it. About 3 years compressed into a single answer. I loved who I thought he could be, she said. Not who he was. June nodded slowly. That's the saddest kind. What is? Loving potential instead of reality. He wasn't wrong. Naomi left the coffee shop feeling more unsettled than when she'd arrived. June Park was not what she expected, not an extension of Jae-hyun, not a soldier following orders. He was something else entirely, and that scared her more than she wanted to admit. The next time Naomi saw June Park, it wasn't a coincidence. She was leaving her gosiwon at 7 in the morning, headed to a convenience store for coffee and kimbap, when she found him leaning against the wall across the street. Same dark jacket, same unreadable expression. Her stomach dropped. "You are following me," she said. June pushed off the wall. "I wanted to talk." "So you stalked me to my apartment?" I asked around, discreetly. "That's literally stalking." "I know." He didn't apologize, just stood there, waiting. Naomi looked up and down the street, empty except for an old woman sweeping the sidewalk 3 doors down. No witnesses, no safety net. "Talk fast," she said, "then leave me alone. Jae-hyun knows you're still in Seoul." Her pulse spiked. "How?" "He has people everywhere. Someone saw you in Hongdae last week, reported it." "Did they?" "They didn't see me, and I made sure the report stayed vague. No location details, no follow-up." "Why?" June stepped closer, not threatening, just closing the distance. "Because I told you I wouldn't tell him, and I keep my word." Naomi's hands tightened on her bag. "What do you want, June?" "To warn you, he's getting desperate, unpredictable. If you're going to stay in the city, you need to be smarter about it." "I am being smart. You're teaching English out of coffee shops and living in a gosiwon in your own name. That's not smart. That's barely hidden." He wasn't wrong. The realization made her stomach turn. "So what do you suggest?" she asked. "Fake passport? Witness protection?" "I suggest you let me help you." "Help me how?" June glanced at the old woman down the street, then back at Naomi. "Not here. Meet me tonight, 8 o'clock. There's a bookstore in Yongsan, 2nd floor. We can talk properly." "I don't think... If you don't show up, I'll assume you don't want my help. I won't bother you again." He pulled out a card, held it out. "But if you do show up, I can give you options you don't have right now." Naomi stared at the card. Plain white, no name, just an address handwritten in pen. She took it. June nodded once, then walked away. Naomi watched him disappear around the corner, her heart hammering. Every instinct screamed not to go, not to trust him, not to get pulled deeper into Jae-hyun's orbit. But June was right about one thing. She wasn't as safe as she thought. Kimmy nearly lost her mind when Naomi told her. "Absolutely not," she said, pacing the length of her tiny living room. "No, no way. You are not meeting Jae-hyun's right-hand man in some random bookstore. It's not random, it's public. It's a trap." "Maybe. But what if it's not?" Kimmy stopped pacing. "You're seriously considering this?" "He covered for me, Kim. Twice. He didn't have to do that. And maybe he's playing a longer game. Ever think of that?" Naomi had thought of it, spent the entire day thinking of it. "I need to know what he knows," she said finally, "about Jae-hyun's search, about how exposed I actually am. So let him keep covering for you from a distance. Don't walk into his hands." "I won't be walking into anything. It's a bookstore, 2nd floor. I can leave any time." Kimmy stared at her. "You're going no matter what I say, aren't you?" "Yes." "Then I'm coming with you." "Kim, non-negotiable. You want to walk into stupid? Fine. But I'm walking in right behind you." The bookstore was tucked between a restaurant and a karaoke bar, easy to miss if you weren't looking. The 1st floor sold new releases and bestsellers. The 2nd floor was used books, older stock, shelves crammed so tight you had to turn sideways to pass. Naomi climbed the stairs at 2 minutes past 8. Kimmy followed, phone in hand, ready to call someone, anyone, if things went wrong. June was already there, sitting in the corner near the philosophy section, a book open on his lap that he clearly wasn't reading. He looked up when Naomi approached. His eyes flicked to Kimmy, then back. "You brought backup," he said. "You brought a stalker's knowledge of my address," Naomi replied. "We're even." June closed the book, stood. "Fair enough." Kimmy crossed her arms. "I'm not leaving." "I don't expect you to." June gestured to the chairs. "Sit, please." They sat. Naomi on one side of the small table, June on the other. Kimmy stood behind Naomi like a bodyguard. "Start talking," Naomi said. June pulled a folded piece of paper from his jacket, slid it across the table. This is everyone Jae-hyun has actively looking for you. Naomi unfolded it, a list of names, 12 of them. Some she recognized, people from his inner circle. Others were strangers. He's paying them, June said. Not much, but enough to keep them motivated. What are they looking for? Anything. Credit card usage, phone records, sightings. He doesn't care how small the information is. He just wants a thread to pull. Naomi's chest tightened. And you're telling me this because you need to understand how serious this is. Jae-hyun doesn't lose. Not business deals, not territory, and definitely not people. I'm not a possession. I know that. He doesn't. Kimmy leaned forward. So what's your angle? Why help her? June met her eyes. No angle. Bullshit. Everyone has an angle. Not everyone. Especially everyone in your world. June didn't flinch, just looked back at Naomi. I'm helping because I think you deserve to stay gone. And because Jae-hyun is my friend, but he's wrong about this. About you. He's wrong about a lot of things, Naomi said quietly. I know. The words hung there. Simple. Devastating. So what do I do? Naomi asked. Stop teaching? Change my name? Leave Seoul entirely? You could, but running only works for so long. June leaned forward. Or you could let me feed him false information, keep him looking in the wrong places. That's a risk for you. I'll manage. Why would you take that risk? June's jaw tightened. He looked away, out the window at the street below. Because I've spent 10 years watching him treat people like assets, and I'm tired of it. Naomi studied him. The tension in his shoulders, the way his hands gripped the edge of the table. You're not just talking about me, are you? She said. June didn't answer. Kimmy broke the silence. Okay, let's say we believe you. Let's say you genuinely want to help. What's step one? Step one is Naomi stays off his radar completely. No more coffee shop lessons. No more predictable patterns. I'll tell him I heard she left Seoul, Busan maybe, or Jeju. That'll buy time. And step two? Step two depends on what Naomi wants. Naomi frowned. What do you mean? Do you want to hide forever? Or do you want to actually be free? What's the difference? Hiding means always looking over your shoulder. Freedom means cutting the thread completely. How do I do that? June hesitated, then, you make him let you go. He won't. He will if he has a reason to. Something bigger than his pride. Naomi's stomach twisted. Like what? I don't know yet, but I'll figure it out. Kimmy scoffed. Oh, great plan. Real detailed. It's better than what she has now, June said evenly. Which is what? Your word? Your secret little rebellion against your boss? Yes. The bluntness of it surprised them both. June stood. I'm not asking you to trust me completely, just enough to stay safe while I work on this, that's all. Naomi looked at Kimmy. Kimmy shook her head, a clear don't. But Naomi was tired of hiding, tired of being afraid. Okay, she said. Okay? Kimmy's voice pitched high. That's it? Just okay? I don't have a better option right now. June's expression didn't change, but something shifted in his eyes. Relief, maybe, or something close to it. Give me 2 weeks, he said. I'll have a plan by then. He left first, disappeared down the stairs and out into the Seoul night like he'd never been there at all. Kimmy rounded on Naomi the second he was gone. Have you lost your mind? Maybe. He works for Jae-hyun. He's loyal to Jae-hyun. This is a setup. Then why hasn't he turned me in already? I don't know. Maybe he's waiting for the right moment. Maybe he's playing some sick game. Or maybe he's telling the truth. Kimmy grabbed Naomi's shoulders. Listen to me. You are a smart woman. Smarter than this. Don't let some pretty face and mysterious motives cloud your judgment. I'm not. You are. I can see it. Naomi pulled away. I'm doing what I have to do to survive. If that means taking a risk on someone who might actually be trying to help, then fine. I'll take the risk. And if you're wrong, then I'm wrong. But at least I tried. They left the bookstore in silence. The walk back to Kimmy's apartment felt longer than usual, colder. Kimmy didn't speak until they were inside, door locked, lights on. "I'm scared for you," she said finally. "I know. Not just because of Jae-hyun. Because of June." Naomi looked up. "What do you mean?" "I mean the way he looks at you, like you're not just some ex-girlfriend he's helping out of pity. You're reading too much into it." "Am I?" Kimmy sat down on the couch. "Naomi, men like June don't risk themselves for nothing. If he's doing this, it's because he wants something. Maybe he just wants to do the right thing. And maybe he wants you." The words settled heavy in the room. Naomi didn't respond, because part of her had already thought it, had felt the weight of June's attention, different from Jae-hyun's. Not possessive, not dismissive, like he actually saw her. And that terrified her more than anything Jae-hyun could do. The next week passed in a strange kind of stasis. Naomi stopped teaching, stopped leaving the Go-Siwon except for necessities. She spent her days reading, sleeping, staring at the ceiling, and wondering if she'd made the right choice. June didn't contact her. No messages. No surprise visits. Nothing. Kimmy checked in daily, half convinced Naomi was walking into a trap, half relieved nothing had happened yet. Then on day 8, Naomi's burner phone buzzed. Unknown number. She answered. "Hello? It's June." Her pulse jumped. "I wasn't sure you'd call." "I said 2 weeks. It's been 8 days. So why call now?" "Because I need to see you. Tonight." "Why?" "I have information and a plan." Naomi's throat tightened. "What kind of plan?" "The kind we can't discuss over the phone." A pause. "Can you meet me?" "Where?" "There's a park near Hangang, Yeouido, by the water, 10 o'clock. "That's late." "That's the point." Naomi closed her eyes. Every rational part of her brain screamed no. But the desperate part, the part that wanted this nightmare over, won. "I'll be there," she said. June hung up. Kimmy lost it when Naomi told her. "A park? At night? Are you insane? It's public. There'll be people around." "Public doesn't mean safe, not with these men." "I have to know what he's planning, Kim." "Then make him come here, or meet during the day, or literally anywhere that isn't a dark park by the water at 10 p.m. "He won't agree to that." "Then don't go." But Naomi was already putting on her jacket. Kimmy grabbed her arm. "If you die, I'm never forgiving you." "I'll keep that in mind." The park was quieter than Naomi expected. A few joggers, a couple sitting on a bench. The Han River stretched dark and wide, city lights reflecting on the surface like broken glass. June was waiting near the railing, hands in his pockets, staring out at the water. Naomi approached slowly. "I'm here." June turned. "Thank you for coming." "You said you had a plan." "I do." He pulled an envelope from his jacket. "But first, you need to see this." Naomi took the envelope, opened it. Inside were photos, printed screenshots from security footage, time-stamped, dated, her outside Jae-hyun's penthouse. The night she left, clear as day. Her stomach dropped. "Where did you get these?" "Jae-hyun's building has cameras everywhere. He pulled the footage a week ago, trying to figure out when you were last there." June's voice stayed even. "He knows you were outside his door that night. He just doesn't know why you left." "He's going to figure it out. Eventually, which is why we need to move faster than I thought." Naomi's hands shook. "What's the plan?" June stepped closer. "You give him a reason to let you go. A reason bigger than his ego." "I already told you, there's no reason big enough for—" "Yes, there is." June's eyes locked on hers. "Me?" Naomi's breath caught. "What?" "You tell him you left because of me, that we've been seeing each other, that it's been going on longer than he knows." "That's insane." "It's believable. It'll get you killed." "It'll set you free." Naomi stepped back. "June, no, I'm not dragging you into this." "I'm already in this. The second I decided to help you, I chose a side." He moved closer again, closing the space between them. "Jae-hyun will be furious. He'll feel betrayed. But he'll also have someone to blame. Someone who isn't you. He'll come after you. Let him. You're his best friend. And you're the woman he threw away without a second thought." Jun's jaw tightened. I've watched him destroy people for years. I've stood by and let it happen because I told myself it wasn't my business. But this time it is. Why? Because you deserve better than what he gave you, and I'm tired of pretending I don't see that. The words hung between them, raw and dangerous. This isn't about helping me, is it? Naomi said quietly. This is about you wanting me. Jun didn't deny it. Would that be so terrible? Yes, because I just escaped one man's obsession. I'm not walking into another's. I'm not obsessed with you, Naomi. I just see you, actually see you, the way he never did. That's worse. Why? Because I don't know how to trust that. I don't know how to believe someone could look at me and see something worth risking everything for. Jun reached out slowly, giving her time to pull away. When she didn't, he took her hand. His grip was warm, steady. You don't have to believe it yet, he said. You just have to let me prove it. Naomi's throat closed. She pulled her hand back. This is a mistake. Maybe, but it's the only move we have that gets you out completely. And what happens to you? I'll survive. Will you? Jun smiled then, sad, resigned. I've survived worse. Naomi turned away, staring out at the river. The water moved slow and dark, carrying the city's reflection downstream. I need time to think, she said. We don't have time. Jae-hyun's closing in. If we're going to do this, it has to be now. Then give me tonight. One night to figure out if I can actually go through with this. Jun nodded. Okay, one night. How do I reach you? He pulled out a phone. Not a smartphone. An old flip phone, the kind no one used anymore. This is a burner. Only I have the number. Call me when you decide. Naomi took the phone. Their fingers brushed. She walked away before she could change her mind. The walk back to Kimmy's felt endless, every step heavier than the last. When she finally arrived, Kimmy took one look at her face and poured whiskey. That bad? Worse. Naomi told her everything. The photos, the plan. Jun's confession that wasn't quite a confession. Kimmy drank her whiskey in one shot. He's in love with you. He's not. Naomi, come on. He's offering to blow up his entire life for you. That's not strategy. That's feelings. It's guilt, or rebellion, or some twisted loyalty thing. It's love, and you know it. Naomi's hands shook. Even if it is, I can't. I just got out of one disaster. I'm not jumping into another. Then don't do it. Tell him no. Walk away from both of them. And then what? Keep hiding? Keep waiting for Jae-hyun to find me? You find another way. There is no other way. Naomi's voice cracked. Jun's right. This is the only move that actually ends it. The only move that makes Jae-hyun let me go. At what cost? I don't know, but staying like this, constantly afraid, constantly running, that has a cost too. Kimmy refilled her glass, didn't drink it, just stared at the amber liquid like it held answers. If you do this, she said finally, you can't go halfway. You have to commit, fully, because the second Jae-hyun smells a lie, you're both dead. I know. And Jun, whatever he feels for you, that's going to complicate things. I know that too. Do you feel anything for him? Naomi didn't answer, because she did. Something small, something dangerous, a pull she didn't want to name. It doesn't matter what I feel, she said. This isn't about romance, it's about survival. Keep telling yourself that, Kimmy said. But survival doesn't explain why your hands are shaking. Naomi looked down. Kimmy was right. She called Jun at midnight. He answered on the first ring. Naomi. I'll do it. A pause. You're sure? No, but I'll do it anyway. Okay. We need to make it look real. That means being seen together, in public. Somewhere Jae-hyun's people will report it. Where? There's a restaurant in Gangnam. High-end, lots of eyes. Tomorrow night. That's fast. It has to be. The longer we wait, the more time he has to find you on his own. Naomi's stomach turned. What do I wear? Anything. It doesn't matter. Just show up. Yeah. If this goes wrong, it won't. But if it does, then we deal with it together. The line went quiet. Naomi closed her eyes. Tomorrow night, she said. Tomorrow night. She hung up. Kimmy was watching from the doorway. You really doing this? Yeah. Then I'm coming shopping with you tomorrow, because if you're going to walk into a trap, you're at least going to look good doing it. The restaurant was everything June promised. Glass walls, dim lighting, tables spaced far enough apart for privacy but close enough to be seen. The kind of place where deals were made and secrets were traded. Naomi arrived 10 minutes late wearing a black dress Kimmy had pulled from the back of her closet. Simple. Elegant. The kind of thing that didn't scream for attention, but got it anyway. June stood when she approached the table. He was in a suit, dark gray, no tie. He looked different outside of shadows and bookstores. He looked dangerous. You came, he said. I said I would. He pulled out her chair. She sat. The waiter appeared immediately, pouring water, offering menus. June ordered wine. Naomi didn't hear what kind. Her pulse was too loud in her ears. Are we being watched? She asked quietly. 3 tables to your left. One of Jae-hyun's finance guys, he's already texting. That was fast. It always is. The wine arrived. June poured. His hand was steady. To freedom, he said, raising his glass. To survival, Naomi corrected. They drank. The meal passed in a blur. Naomi barely tasted the food, just moved it around her plate and tried to look natural. June carried the conversation, asked about her childhood, her family, things Jae-hyun had never bothered to learn. And despite everything, despite the fear and the performance and the weight of eyes on them, Naomi found herself answering honestly. Halfway through dessert, June's phone buzzed. He glanced at it. His expression didn't change, but something shifted in his posture. He knows, June said quietly. Naomi's breath stopped. Already? He wants to see me. Tonight. What are you going to tell him? June looked at her across the table. The truth. June, it's the only way this works. He stood, dropped cash on the table. Go home. Stay with Kimmy. Don't leave until you hear from me. What if I don't hear from you? June's jaw tightened. You will. He walked out of the restaurant without looking back. Naomi sat there, alone, the taste of wine sour on her tongue. The waiter approached. Miss, is everything all right? No, she said, but it will be. She had to believe that, because the alternative was unthinkable. Naomi made it back to Kimmy's apartment at 11. Her hands wouldn't stop shaking. Kimmy took one look at her and locked the door. What happened? Jae-hyun knows. June's meeting him right now. Oh my God. He said he'd call, that I'd hear from him. And if you don't? Naomi sank onto the couch. I don't know. They waited. Midnight came and went, then 1 a.m., then 2. Naomi stared at the burner phone like she could will it to ring. At 2:47 a.m., it buzzed. She grabbed it so fast she nearly dropped it. June? It's done. His voice was rough, strained. Are you okay? I'm alive. That's not the same thing. It's close enough. A pause. He knows about us, or thinks he does. He's furious. Did he? It doesn't matter. What matters is he believes it, and he's letting you go. Naomi's chest tightened. He is? Not because he wants to, because his pride won't let him fight for a woman who chose someone else. Especially me. June, I'm so sorry. Don't. This was my choice. But, Naomi, his voice cracked, I need you to listen. Jae-hyun is letting you go, but he's not letting me go. I'm out. Completely. Out of his organization. Out of his life. Oh, God. I knew the cost when I made the call. I'm not asking for sympathy. Then what are you asking for? Silence stretched across the line. Then, I'm asking if you meant what you said, that this was just about survival. Naomi's throat closed. Because if it was, I'll disappear. You'll never hear from me again. You'll be free, completely. And if it wasn't? Then I'm asking if there's a chance, any chance, that you could see me as something more than just the man who helped you escape. Naomi closed her eyes, felt tears slide down her cheeks. She thought about 3 years with Jae-hyun, 3 years of being convenient, useful, replaceable. She thought about June, the way he looked at her like she mattered, like she was worth risking everything for. June, she whispered. Yeah? Don't disappear. The line went quiet. Then, "You're sure?" "No, but I want to find out." She heard him exhale. Relief, or something close to it. "Okay," he said. "Then we start over. No Jaehyun, no empire, just us." "Just us," Naomi repeated. "I'll call you tomorrow. We'll figure out next steps." "Jun." "Yeah?" "Thank you." "For what?" "For seeing me." The line clicked off. Naomi sat at Bantoa there. Phone pressed to her chest, tears streaming down her face. Kimmy sat down beside her. Didn't say anything. Just put an arm around her shoulders and held on. Outside, Seoul kept moving. The city that had witnessed her heartbreak. Her escape. Her survival. And now, maybe, her beginning. But in the shadows of that same city, in a penthouse 42 floors above the street, Jae-hyun Kang stood at his window and stared down at the lights below. His phone was in his hand, Jun's number still on the screen, his oldest friend, his most trusted lieutenant, gone. Because of her. Jae-hyun's jaw tightened. He'd told Jun he was letting Naomi go. Told him the betrayal was unforgivable, but he wouldn't pursue revenge. He'd lied. Because Jae-hyun Kang didn't let things go. He just waited for the right moment to take them back. And Naomi Carter, the woman he'd dismissed as convenient, temporary, replaceable, had just become the most important piece on the board. Not because he loved her, but because she dared to choose someone else. And that was something Jae-hyun would never forgive. 3 days passed before Naomi realized something was wrong. Jun called every morning like clockwork. Short conversations, nothing heavy, just checking in, making plans to meet once things cooled down. His voice always steady, reassuring. But on the 4th day, he didn't call. Naomi stared at the burner phone until noon, willing it to ring. Nothing. She called him, straight to voicemail. Maybe his battery died, Kimmy offered, not sounding convinced. He has a charger. Maybe he's being careful, lying low. He would have told me. Kimmy didn't argue. By evening, Naomi's anxiety had curdled into something sharper. She tried Jun's number 6 more times. Voicemail, voicemail, voicemail. At midnight, she made a decision. "I'm going to his apartment," she said. Kimmy sat up from the couch. "Are you out of your mind? Something's wrong. Or he's ghosting you, which honestly might be the kindest thing he could do right now." "He's not ghosting me. You don't know that." "I know him. You've known him for 3 weeks. You knew Jae-hyun for 3 years, and look how that turned out." The words hit like a slap. Naomi grabbed her jacket anyway. "Don't wait up," she said. Jun's apartment was in Mappo, a mid-rise building with security cameras and a code-locked entrance. Naomi didn't have the code. She waited outside until a delivery driver showed up, then slipped in behind him. 4th floor. Unit 403. She knocked. No answer. Knocked again, harder. "Jun? It's me. Open up." Nothing. Naomi pressed her ear to the door. Silence. Not the silence of someone sleeping, the silence of absence. She tried the handle. Locked. Her stomach twisted. She pulled out her phone, tried calling one more time. Inside the apartment, she heard the faint buzz of a phone ringing. He was in there. Or his phone was. "Jun!" She pounded on the door. "Jun, please, I just need to know you're okay." A door opened down the hall. An older man stuck his head out, irritated. "Do you know what time it is?" "I'm sorry. My friend lives here and he's not answering." "Your friend moved out." Naomi's breath stopped. "What?" "2 days ago. Movers came, took everything." "That's impossible. He would have told me." The man shrugged. "I don't know what to tell you. The apartment's empty now. Saw it myself." He shut his door. Naomi stood there, pulse hammering, mind racing. Moved out. 2 days ago. Right after he'd called her. Right after he'd told her not to disappear. She ran. Down the stairs, out into the street, lungs burning. She didn't stop until she was 3 blocks away, bent over, gasping. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. She answered. "Jun?" "No." A woman's voice, cool, professional. "Is this Naomi Carter?" "Who is this?" "My name is Min Ji. I work for Jae-hyun Kang." Ice flooded Naomi's veins. How did you get this number? That doesn't matter. What matters is I have information you need to hear. I'm hanging up. June Park is in the hospital. Naomi's world tilted. What? He was admitted 3 days ago, trauma unit. He's stable, but he's not taking visitors. What happened? What do you think happened? Minji's voice carried no emotion. He betrayed Jae Hyun. There are consequences for that. You're lying. I'm really not. Asan Medical Center, trauma unit, 5th floor. But like I said, he's not taking visitors, especially not you. Why are you telling me this? Because Mr. Kang thought you should know what your choices cost. The line went dead. Naomi stood frozen on the sidewalk, phone pressed to her ear, the city spinning around her. June was hurt because of her, because he'd helped her. She flagged down a taxi. The hospital was massive, all glass and steel and fluorescent lighting. Naomi pushed through the main entrance, ignored the reception desk, and headed straight for the elevators. 5th floor, trauma unit. The doors opened onto a quiet hallway. Nurses at a station. Rooms with closed doors. The smell of antiseptic and something underneath it. Fear, pain, desperation. Naomi approached the desk. I'm looking for June Park. He was admitted 3 days ago. The nurse didn't even look up. Are you family? I'm his... Naomi hesitated. What was she? I'm his girlfriend. He's not taking visitors. I just need to see him for a minute, please. Hospital policy, family only. Then let me talk to his doctor. Someone. Anyone. The nurse finally looked up, her expression tired. Miss, I understand you're concerned, but the patient was very clear. No visitors. Especially, she glanced at a note. Especially not a woman named Naomi Carter. The words cut deeper than any knife. He said that? Naomi's voice cracked. Those exact words? Yes. Can you at least tell me if he's okay? I can't disclose patient information to non-family. Please. The nurse's expression softened slightly. He's stable. That's all I can tell you. Stable. Not good. Not recovering. Just stable. Naomi walked back to the elevator on autopilot. The doors closed. She watched the numbers descend. June didn't want to see her. Had told them specifically to keep her out. Because he blamed her. Or because he was protecting her. Or because... The elevator jerked to a stop. 3rd floor. A man stepped in. Tall. Expensive suit. Familiar. Naomi's stomach dropped. Jae-hyun Kong looked at her like she was a ghost he'd been expecting. Naomi, he said. Calm. Almost pleasant. What a coincidence. She stepped back, hitting the elevator wall. Stay away from me. We're in an elevator. I can't exactly leave. He pressed the button for the lobby. The doors closed. You're here for June, I assume. What did you do to him? Me? Nothing. Jae-hyun's smile was cold. June made his own choices. He knew the consequences. You had him beaten. I had him removed from my organization. What happened after that? He shrugged. Sometimes people get upset when they lose everything. They make poor decisions, get into accidents. You're a monster, and you're a coward who ran instead of talking to me like an adult. The elevator descended. 2nd floor, 1st floor. You never would have listened, Naomi said. You never gave me the chance. I heard you, Jae-hyun, that night, outside your door, every word you said about me. His expression didn't change. Then you know I was being honest. You called me convenient, replaceable. You were. Then why are you here? Why do you care? The elevator stopped. Lobby. The doors opened. Jae-hyun blocked her exit. Because what's mine stays mine until I say otherwise. You didn't leave me, Naomi. You ran like a thief in the night. And worse, you ran to him. I didn't run to anyone. I ran from you. And fell right into June's arms? Please. Jae-hyun stepped closer. You think I don't know what he's wanted for years? I saw it every time he looked at you, every time you walked into a room and he couldn't help himself. You're paranoid. I'm observant. His voice dropped. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to come back. You're going to apologize. We're going to put this ugliness behind us. I'd rather die. That can be arranged. The words hung between them. Not quite a threat, not quite a promise. Naomi pushed past him. He didn't stop her. But as she crossed the lobby, he called after her. June's awake, by the way. I visited him this morning. We had a nice talk. She stopped. He asked me to tell you something, Jae-hyun continued. He said to stay away, that you were never part of the plan. You're lying. Am I? Jae-hyun's smile widened. Ask yourself, Naomi. Why would he move out of his apartment without telling you? Why would he specifically ban you from visiting? Maybe because the whole thing was a setup from the beginning. No. Think about it. My best friend suddenly helps my ex-girlfriend disappear, suddenly develops feelings for her after years of barely speaking. It's convenient, don't you think? Stop. He played you, used your hurt and your fear to turn you against me. And now that he's gotten what he wanted, me cutting him loose, you running to him like a grateful puppy, he's done with you. That's not true. Then why won't he see you? Naomi couldn't answer, because the question had teeth. Jae-hyun walked past her toward the exit. When you're ready to stop pretending, you know where to find me. He left. Naomi stood in the lobby, shaking, trying to breathe. June wouldn't do that. Wouldn't use her. Wouldn't lie. Would he? She pulled out her phone, tried his number again. Voicemail. The burner phone he'd given her. The one only he had the number for. She'd never called him from a real phone. Never had any other way to reach him. What if Jae-hyun was right? What if this had all been a game? No. She couldn't think like that. Couldn't let Jae-hyun's poison take root. But doubt had already started growing. Naomi took a taxi back to Kimmy's. The sun was rising by the time she arrived, painting Seoul in shades of pink and gold. Kimmy was awake, pacing, phone in hand. Where the hell have you been? I've been calling. She stopped when she saw Naomi's face. What happened? Naomi told her everything. June in the hospital, Jae-hyun in the elevator, the accusations, the doubt. Kimmy listened without interrupting. When Naomi finished, she poured 2 glasses of soju and slid one across the table. Okay, Kimmy said, let's think about this logically. There's nothing logical about any of this. Humor me. Kimmy took a drink. June helped you disappear. He fed Jae-hyun false information. He risked his entire life to get you out. That's not fake. But what if it was all to hurt Jae-hyun? What if I was just the weapon? Then why take a beating for it? Why end up in the hospital? Maybe it went further than he planned. Or maybe Jae-hyun is doing exactly what he's best at, getting in your head and twisting everything until you don't know what's real. Naomi stared at her glass. June won't see me. He specifically told them to keep me out. Maybe because he doesn't want you seeing him like that. Maybe because he's trying to protect you. From what? From Jae-hyun using you to get to him. Think about it. If Jae-hyun knows you'll come running the second June's in danger, that gives him leverage. June cutting you off removes that leverage. It made sense. But so did Jae-hyun's version. That was the problem. Both stories fit. I need to talk to him, Naomi said. Face to face, no phones, no messages. I need to look him in the eye and ask him if this was real. And if the hospital won't let you in, then I'll find another way. She spent the rest of the day planning, called the hospital pretending to be June's sister, trying to get room numbers, visitor hours, anything useful. Got nowhere. Security was tight. The nurse had been clear. By evening, she was desperate enough to try something stupid. She went back to the hospital at shift change. 7 p.m., when the trauma unit was busiest and nurses were distracted. She walked straight past the desk like she belonged there. No one stopped her. Room 507. That's what the chart at the nurses' station had said. June Park, 507. The door was closed. Naomi pressed her ear against it. Silence. She knocked softly. June, it's me. Nothing. She tried the handle. It turned. The room was dark except for the glow of monitors. June lay in the bed, eyes closed, face bruised. His left arm was in a cast, bandages wrapped around his ribs. Naomi's breath caught. She stepped inside, closing the door behind her. June, she whispered. His eyes opened, slowly, focused on her. For a moment, neither of them spoke. Then June's expression hardened. You shouldn't be here. I needed to see you. I told them not to let you in. I know. I didn't listen. June tried to sit up, winced, gave up. Naomi, leave. Now. Not until you tell me the truth. About what? About this. About us. Was any of it real? June's jaw tightened. What did he tell you? That you used me. That this was all a setup to hurt him. And you believed him? I don't know what to believe anymore. June looked away, staring at the ceiling. Then there's nothing I can say that'll convince you otherwise. Try. No. June, you want the truth? Fine. Here it is. He turned his head, meeting her eyes. Yes, I wanted to hurt him. Yes, I was tired of watching him destroy people and getting away with it. And yes, helping you was a way to do that. Naomi's stomach dropped. But, June continued, voice rough, it stopped being about him the second I actually got to know you. The second I saw who you were when you weren't performing for someone who didn't deserve you. How do I know that's not just another lie? You don't. You'll never know for sure. That's the problem with trust, Naomi. It requires faith. And you just proved you don't have any. The words cut deep. You won't even see me, Naomi said. You banned me from visiting. To protect you. From what? From being used as leverage against me. From Jae-hyun seeing how much you matter and using that to destroy us both. So you do care. Of course I care. But caring isn't enough when you're dealing with someone like him. Then what do we do? June's expression softened. Just slightly. You leave. You get as far from this mess as possible. You start over somewhere Jae-hyun can't reach you. What about you? I'll be fine. You're in a hospital bed. I've survived worse. Stop saying that. It's true. Naomi moved closer to the bed. I'm not leaving you. Yes, you are. Jun... The door opened. A nurse stepped in, surprised. Visiting hours are over. How did you... She stopped when she saw Naomi's face. Security, the nurse said into her radio. 5th floor, room 507. Go, June said urgently. Now. No. Naomi, if they call the police, if Jae-hyun finds out you were here, I don't care. I do. Footsteps in the hallway. Heavy. Fast. June grabbed her hand with his good arm. Please, trust me one more time. Leave. Disappear. I'll find you when this is over. When what's over? Just go. Security appeared in the doorway. 2 guards. Large. Unfriendly. Miss, you need to come with us, one said. Naomi looked at June. His eyes pleaded. She pulled her hand free. I'll wait for you. Don't. I will. The guards escorted her out, not rough, but firm. No room for argument. They took her down to the lobby, asked for ID, took her information, told her she was banned from the hospital. She left without fighting. Outside, the night air felt too cold, too sharp. Naomi walked 3 blocks before she realized someone was following her. She turned. A man in a dark jacket, young, unfamiliar. Naomi Carter, he said. Her heart kicked. Who's asking? Someone who wants to talk to you. I'm not interested. Mr. Kang thought you might say that. The man pulled out a phone, showed her a photo. Kimmy, leaving her apartment. Time stamped 20 minutes ago. She's fine, the man said. For now. But Mr. Kang would really like to have a conversation with you, tonight. If he touches her, he won't. Not if you cooperate. Naomi's mind raced. Fight, run, scream. But Kimmy's face on that screen stopped her cold. Where? She asked. I'll drive. The car was black, expensive, anonymous. Naomi climbed into the back seat. The man got behind the wheel. They drove in silence, away from the hospital, away from Kimmy's neighborhood, into parts of Seoul Naomi didn't recognize. Industrial. Empty. The kind of place where no one asked questions. The car stopped outside a warehouse. Lights on inside. Shadows moving. Out, the driver said. Naomi got out. The warehouse door opened. Another man, older, scarred. Inside, she walked in. The space was massive, concrete floors, metal beams, echoes. And in the center, sitting in a chair like a throne, was Jae-hyun. "Naomi," he said, smiling. "Thank you for coming. You didn't give me a choice. Everyone has choices. You just made the smart one." He gestured to a chair across from him. "Sit." She didn't move. Jae-hyun's smile faded. "Sit. Down." Naomi sat. "Better?" He leaned back. "You've been busy? Hospital visits, secret phone calls, very dramatic. Where's Kimmy?" "Safe. I told you, I'm not a monster." "You're exactly a monster." "Maybe, but I'm a monster who keeps his word. Your friend is fine. You'll see her soon. After we clear some things up." "There's nothing to clear up. I left. You should be relieved." "Relieved?" Jae-hyun laughed. Cold, sharp. "You humiliated me, Naomi. Made me look weak in front of my own people. Ran straight into the arms of my closest friend. And you think I should be relieved? You never wanted me. You said so yourself. What I said was private, between men. You were never supposed to hear that. But I did. And instead of confronting me like an adult, you disappeared, made me chase you, made me look desperate." His voice dropped. "Do you have any idea what that cost me? How many people now think Jae-hyun Kang can be played?" "That's not my problem." "It is, actually, because now I have to fix it, and fixing it means fixing you." Naomi's blood went cold. "What does that mean?" Jae-hyun stood, walked toward her, slow, deliberate. "It means you come back, publicly. You apologize. You tell everyone June manipulated you, lied to you, that you made a mistake." "I'll never do that." "Yes, you will. Because if you don't, I'll make sure June never leaves that hospital. And I'll make sure your friend Kimmy understands exactly what happens to people who help my enemies." "You can't." "I can. I have. And I will." He crouched down, meeting her eyes. "This isn't about love, Naomi. It never was. This is about power, and you took mine, so now I'm taking it back. By forcing me to lie? By making you understand that leaving me has consequences, for you, for everyone you care about." Naomi's hand shook. "Jun was right. You're exactly what he said you were." "And what's that?" "A man who takes everything and values nothing." Jae-hyun smiled. "Finally, you're starting to understand." He stood, pulled out his phone, made a call. "Bring her in." The warehouse door opened. 2 men walked in. Between them, hands bound, was Kimmy. Her face was pale, terrified. "Kim!" Naomi stood. "I'm okay," Kimmy said, voice shaking. "I'm okay." Jae-hyun looked at Naomi. "So here's how this works. You do exactly what I say. You come back, you play the role, and everyone walks away alive. And if I refuse, then I start removing pieces. First her, then June, then anyone else who helped you, one by one, until you have no one left." Naomi looked at Kimmy, at the fear in her eyes. She looked at Jae-hyun, at the cold certainty in his expression. She thought about June, broken in a hospital bed, and she realized something horrible. There was no way out, not without blood. "Okay," she said quietly. Jae-hyun smiled. "Sorry, I didn't hear that." "I said okay, I'll do it." "You'll come back?" "Yes." "You'll apologize publicly?" "Yes." "You'll tell everyone June lied?" Naomi's throat closed, but she forced the word out. "Yes." "Good." Jae-hyun gestured to the men. "Let her go." They released Kimmy. She ran to Naomi, wrapping her arms around her. "I'm sorry," Kimmy whispered. "I'm so sorry." "It's not your fault." Jae-hyun walked toward the door. "You have 24 hours to get your story straight. Then we go public. Together." He left. The warehouse emptied. Naomi and Kimmy stood there, holding each other, the weight of what just happened crushing down. "What are you going to do?" Kimmy asked. Naomi didn't answer, because the truth was, she didn't know. June had told her to run, to disappear, but Jae-hyun had just proven that nowhere was far enough. She was trapped, completely. And the only way out was through a lie that would destroy the one person who'd actually tried to save her. Naomi pulled back, looking at Kimmy. I need you to do something for me. Anything. I need you to get a message to June. How? You're banned from the hospital. I don't know, but you'll figure it out. You always do. What's the message? Naomi's voice didn't shake, didn't crack, just went cold and flat and certain. Tell him I'm sorry, and tell him to forget about me, because I'm going back. Kimmy's eyes widened. Naomi, no. It's the only way to keep him alive, and you, and anyone else who helped me. You can't. I don't have a choice. There's always a choice. Not this time. Naomi walked toward the warehouse exit, toward the car waiting outside, toward the man who'd taken everything from her and was about to take more. Behind her, Kimmy called out, He'll never forgive you for this. Naomi stopped, turned. I know, she said. Then she got in the car and let Jae Hyun Kang take her back to hell. The penthouse looked exactly the same. Naomi stood in the doorway, her bag at her feet, staring at the space she'd fled 3 weeks ago. Same furniture. Same view of Seoul stretching 42 floors below. Same suffocating silence. Jae Hyun brushed past her, shrugging off his jacket. Your room is still as you left it. I had the locks changed on the main door, obviously. You'll get a new key tomorrow. I don't need a room. I'll sleep on the couch. Don't be ridiculous. I'm not staying in your bed. Jae Hyun turned, his expression flat. I never asked you to. The guest room, Naomi. Unless you'd prefer the floor. She picked up her bag and walked toward the hallway. Every step felt like wading through concrete. The guest room was small, impersonal. A bed, a nightstand, a window that looked out at another building. She dropped her bag and sat on the mattress. Her phone buzzed. Kimmy, did you make it? Yes. Are you okay? Naomi stared at the question. No good answer existed. I'm alive. That's not the same thing. I know. I'm going to the hospital tomorrow. I'll get the message to June. Naomi closed her eyes. June. The message she'd asked Kimmy to deliver felt like a knife twisting deeper with every passing hour. Don't tell him where I am. He'll figure it out. Then lie. Tell him I left the city. Tell him I used him. I don't care. Just keep him away. 3 dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. You're making a mistake. It's my mistake to make. Naomi turned off the phone. Sleep didn't come. She lay there staring at the ceiling, listening to the city hum below. At some point, she heard Jae Hyun moving around the penthouse, a door closing, water running, then silence again. Morning arrived gray and cold. Jae Hyun was already awake, dressed in a charcoal suit, coffee in hand. He looked up when Naomi entered the kitchen. We have a press event this afternoon, he said. 4 o'clock. My publicist will be here at 2 to brief you. What kind of event? Charity gala, high profile, lots of cameras. He took a sip of coffee. You'll stand beside me. Smile. Play the role of the devoted girlfriend who made a brief mistake but has come to her senses. Naomi's stomach turned. And if I can't? You will, because the alternative is your friend getting a visit from people who don't ask nicely. You already have me back. What more do you want? I want everyone to see that I'm still in control, that what's mine stays mine, that no one, not June, not you, not anyone, can take from me without consequences. This isn't about me at all, is it? It never was. Jae Hyun set down his coffee. Of course not. This is about power. I told you that already. You're just the vehicle. The words should have hurt, should have cut deep. But Naomi felt nothing, just a hollow ache where her anger used to be. What do I wear? She asked. Something elegant, not too flashy. My publicist will bring options. Fine. And Naomi? Jae Hyun's voice softened, almost gentle. Try to sell it, for your sake and everyone else's. She walked away without answering. The publicist arrived at 2 sharp. A woman in her 40s named Yoon Hee with sharp eyes and sharper heels. She brought 3 dresses and garment bags and a makeup artist who looked bored. Mr. Kang wants classic, Yoon Hee said, laying out the options. Nothing too modern. You're not making a statement. You're reinforcing stability. Naomi picked the simplest one. Navy blue, long sleeves, high neck. Perfect, Yoon Hee said. Very demure. Very, I made a mistake and learned my lesson. The makeup artist worked in silence. Foundation, concealer, blush, lipstick the color of dried roses. Naomi watched herself transform in the mirror, watched the woman she'd been disappear beneath layers of paint and polish. By 3:30, she looked like someone else entirely. Jae-hyun appeared in the doorway, adjusting his cufflinks. Good, you look the part. What part is that? Repentant, obedient, mine. The gala was held at a hotel in Gangnam, all marble and gold chandeliers, and people in clothes worth more than Naomi's entire wardrobe. Photographers lined the entrance, cameras flashing like gunfire. Jae-hyun took her arm as they stepped out of the car. His grip was firm, possessive. Smile, he murmured. She did. They walked the carpet, stopped for photos. Jae-hyun's hand never left her waist, anchoring her, claiming her. Questions shouted from the crowd. Mr. Kang, there were rumors you and Ms. Carter had split. Just a misunderstanding, Jae-hyun said smoothly. Every relationship has rough patches. We worked through ours. Naomi, how do you feel being back? Naomi's throat closed. Jae-hyun's fingers pressed harder into her side. Grateful, she managed. I made a mistake. I'm glad we were able to move past it. More flashes, more cameras. They moved inside. The ballroom was massive. Round tables draped in white, a stage at the far end, servers circulating with champagne and appetizers that looked like art. Jae-hyun introduced her to people, business partners, politicians, men in expensive suits who looked at her like a trophy. She smiled, nodded, played the part. An hour in, Jae-hyun excused himself to speak with the investor. Stay here, don't wander. Naomi stood near the bar, champagne in hand, watching the room move around her. A voice behind her You look miserable. She turned. A woman, mid-50s, elegant in the way that comes from old money, not new. Her expression held something Naomi couldn't name. Excuse me? Naomi said. I said you look miserable, which makes sense, considering. The woman sipped her wine. I'm Seo-yun. I've known Jae-hyun since he was a boy, watched him become what he is now. And what is he? A man who mistakes control for power. Seo-yun glanced across the room to where Jae-hyun stood, surrounded by admirers. He thinks owning things makes him strong, but real strength is knowing when to let go. Why are you telling me this? Because I see the look in your eyes, the one that says you're calculating exits. Seo-yun leaned closer. And I want you to know that whatever you're planning, you'd better commit completely. Men like Jae-hyun don't forgive halfway measures. Before Naomi could respond, Seo-yun walked away. Naomi's heart hammered. She scanned the room. No one seemed to have heard. No one was watching, except one person. Standing near the entrance, partially hidden behind a column, was June. Naomi's breath stopped. He was in a suit, no sling, no visible injuries. But something in the way he held himself, stiff, guarded, suggested the damage ran deeper than what showed. Their eyes met across the ballroom. June's expression was unreadable. Then Jae-hyun reappeared at Naomi's side, his hand reclaiming her waist. Sorry about that. Business never stops. He followed her gaze, saw June. His grip tightened. Interesting. I didn't think he'd show. You invited him? Of course. He's still one of my largest investors. Cutting professional ties over personal disagreements would be poor business. You're using me to torture him. I'm using him to remind everyone what happens when you cross me. Jae-hyun smiled. Excuse me, I should say hello. He walked toward June. Naomi's pulse spiked. She wanted to run, wanted to scream, but her feet stayed rooted. She watched Jae-hyun approach June, watched them shake hands, watched Jae-hyun lean in, saying something too quiet for anyone else to hear. June's jaw tightened. Then Jae-hyun gestured toward Naomi. Both men looked at her. June started walking over. Naomi's breath came short and fast. She couldn't do this, couldn't face him, not here, not like this. But June stopped directly in front of her, and she had no choice. Naomi, he said. His voice was steady, empty. June, you look well. You look alive. A muscle in his jaw twitched. Barely. I heard about the hospital. I tried to... I know. They told me. Silence stretched between them. Around them, the gala continued. Music, laughter, glasses clinking. Kimmy gave me your message, June said finally. Naomi's throat closed. And I'm here to tell you that I don't accept it. Jun, you think going back to him saves anyone? It doesn't. It just proves he was right, that you're something he can own, something he can break and put back together however he wants. I don't have a choice. You always have a choice. Not when he threatens everyone I care about. Then let him. June stepped closer, his voice dropped. Let him come after me. Let him do his worst. But don't sacrifice yourself to save me. I didn't ask for that. I couldn't let him hurt you again. So instead you hurt yourself? You think that's better? Yes. It's not. Naomi looked away. You should leave. If he sees us talking like this, I don't care what he sees. I do. June grabbed her wrist. Not hard, just enough to make her look at him. Listen to me. Whatever you're planning, whatever you think you need to do to survive this, don't lose yourself in the process. I already lost myself 3 years ago. I'm just finally accepting it. That's bullshit and you know it. Is it? Naomi pulled her wrist free. Maybe Jae-hyun was right. Maybe this is all I was ever meant to be. Convenient, useful, something pretty to stand next to him at events like this. Stop. Why? It's the truth. No, it's his truth, not yours. Naomi's eyes burned. I can't do this right now. Then when? Never. She stepped back. I asked Kimmy to tell you to forget me. I meant it. Move on, June. Find someone who isn't broken. Someone who won't drag you into hell just by existing. You didn't drag me anywhere. I chose to help you. And look where that got you. June's expression cracked, just for a second, pain flashing through. Do you regret it? The time we spent together, the conversations, the moments when it was just us and not his shadow. Do you regret it? Naomi wanted to lie, wanted to tell him yes, she regretted all of it, but the word wouldn't come. No, she whispered. I don't regret it. Then don't do this. Don't go back to him. I already did. So leave again. He'll kill you. Let him try. Jae-hyun's voice cut through the space between them. Am I interrupting? He appeared beside Naomi, champagne in hand, smile polite and deadly. June straightened. We were just catching up. How nice. I hope Naomi told you how happy she is to be home. She did. Good. Jae-hyun's hand found Naomi's lower back. I'd hate for there to be any confusion about where she belongs. June's eyes locked on Jae-hyun's. There's no confusion. Excellent. Then you won't mind if I steal her away. They're about to announce the auction items. June looked at Naomi one last time. Something in his expression, desperate, furious, helpless. Then he turned and walked away. Naomi watched him go, her chest hollow. Jae-hyun leaned close. That was well done. Very convincing. I wasn't acting. Even better. The auction was everything Naomi expected. Rich people bidding obscene amounts on things they didn't need. Jae-hyun won a painting, 20 million won, didn't even blink. Naomi sat beside him, hands folded in her lap, mind elsewhere. June was still here, somewhere in this room, watching. She could feel his presence like a weight on her skin. When the auction ended, people mingled. Jae-hyun pulled Naomi into conversation after conversation. More introductions, more smiles, more lies. At 9 p.m., he leaned in. I need to step out. Business call. Stay here. Don't move. I won't. He disappeared into the hallway. Naomi stood alone near the windows, staring out at Seoul's lights. A hand touched her shoulder. She turned. June. Come with me, he said. I can't. Yes, you can. June, he'll know. I don't care. June's grip tightened. There's something you need to see. Something that changes everything. What are you talking about? Not here. Please, just trust me one more time. Naomi looked toward the hallway where Jae-hyun had gone, then back at June. 5 minutes, she said. That's all I need. He led her through the crowd, out a side door, into a service corridor. They moved fast. down a flight of stairs, into a room that looked like hotel storage. June pulled out his phone, opened a video file. Before I ended up in the hospital, I did some digging, he said, called in favors, found people who owed me. And I found this. He pressed play. The video showed Jae-hyun in his penthouse the night Naomi had overheard the conversation, but this wasn't from inside the apartment. This was from a hidden camera. One June had apparently planted months ago. The audio was crystal clear. Jae-hyun's voice. Marry her? I'd rather die. She's good for now. Convenient. Doesn't ask questions. Knows her place. Then another voice. One Naomi didn't recognize. What if she finds out how you really feel? Jae-hyun laughed. She won't. And even if she does, she won't leave. Women like her don't leave. They're too invested, too afraid of starting over. And if she does leave? A pause, then I'll make sure she comes back. One way or another, because it's not about her. It's about control. And I don't lose control. The video ended. Naomi stared at the phone, her blood ice cold. He planned this, June said quietly. Even before you left, he knew exactly what he'd do if you ever tried. How long have you had this? Weeks. I was going to show you earlier, but he gestured to himself. Hospital happened. Why show me now? Because you need to understand that nothing you do will ever be enough for him. Coming back, apologizing, playing the part, it won't change anything. He'll keep breaking you down until there's nothing left. Naomi's hand shook. What am I supposed to do with this? Use it. Expose him. Show the world who he really is. And then what? He'll destroy me and you and everyone? And not if we do it right. June grabbed her shoulders. Naomi, listen. I have contacts. People who've been waiting for a reason to move against him. This video, your testimony, it's enough. We can end this. Or we can die trying. Maybe. But isn't that better than living like this? The door burst open. Jae-hyun stood in the doorway, two of his men behind him. His face was calm, terrifyingly calm. I wondered where you'd gone, he said. June stepped in front of Naomi. Jae-hyun smiled. How noble. The loyal dog protecting his master's leftovers. Don't talk about her like that. I'll talk about her however I want. She's mine. She's not property. Isn't she? Jae-hyun walked into the room. His men followed. You think showing her some video changes things? You think it gives her power? It gives her the truth. The truth is whatever I say it is. Jae-hyun looked at Naomi. Put the phone down. Walk back to the gala. Pretend this never happened. Naomi didn't move. Naomi? Jae-hyun's voice hardened. I'm not asking. June's hand found hers, squeezed. Run. What? When I move, you run. Don't look back. June, no. Trust me. Everything happened fast. June lunged at Jae-hyun, connected with a punch that sent him stumbling back. The two men grabbed June, dragged him down. Run, June shouted. Naomi ran, out the door, down the hallway, heart hammering, lungs burning. Behind her, sounds of struggle, shouting, something breaking. She hit the stairwell, took the steps two at a time, burst through the ground floor exit into an alley. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number, she answered. Hello? Naomi Carter. A woman's voice, familiar. This is Detective Han. We met briefly at a community event last year. I work organized crime. Naomi's breath came in gasps. How did you? Jun Park contacted me 3 days ago. Said you might need help. He gave me this number. I don't. Where are you right now? Outside the Shiloh Hotel back alley. Stay there. I'm sending a car. 2 minutes. Why are you helping me? Because June said you have evidence against Jae-hyun Kong. Evidence I've been trying to get for 5 years. If that's true, I need you alive to testify. He'll kill me before I can. Not if I protect you first. 2 minutes, Ms. Carter. Don't move. The line went dead. Naomi leaned against the wall, shaking. Above her, 40 floors up, the gala continued. Music drifting down, lights glowing. June was up there, fighting, bleeding, maybe dying. For her. A black sedan pulled up, the window rolled down. A woman in her 40s with sharp eyes. Get in, Naomi got in. The car pulled away from the hotel, from the gala, from everything. "You're safe now," Detective Han said. But Naomi didn't feel safe. She felt like she'd just started a war, and the only question left was who would survive it. The police safe house was a small apartment in Mapo, tucked between a convenience store and a laundromat. 2 officers stood guard outside. Detective Han led Naomi through the door, locked it behind them, and gestured to the couch. "Sit. I'll make tea." Naomi sat. Her hands wouldn't stop shaking. Detective Han returned with 2 cups. Green tea, steam rising. She sat across from Naomi, her expression unreadable. "June said you have video evidence," Han said. "Evidence that proves Jae-hyun Kang's involvement in organized crime. Is that true?" Naomi pulled out her phone, realized it wasn't hers, June's. He'd slipped it to her before everything went wrong. She opened the video file, handed the phone over. Detective Han watched in silence. When it ended, she set the phone down carefully. "This is good," she said, "but it's not enough." "What do you mean not enough? You heard him. He admitted everything. He admitted to being a controlling boyfriend, maybe emotionally abusive, but nothing in that video ties him directly to criminal activity. No mention of trafficking, money laundering, extortion, nothing I can arrest him for." Naomi's stomach dropped. "So this was for nothing?" "I didn't say that." Han leaned forward. "What I'm saying is we need more. We need you to testify. We need details. Dates, names, transactions you witnessed, people he met with. Anything that connects him to actual crimes." "I don't have that. I wasn't part of his business. He kept me separate." "Then we need someone who was." Han's eyes sharpened. Jun Park worked directly under Jae-hyun for years. If he's willing to testify, he's not willing. He's trapped in a hotel with Jae-hyun's men. Then we get him out. How? You let me worry about that. Han stood. "Right now, you need to stay here. Don't leave. Don't call anyone. Don't use that phone except to contact me. Understood?" "What about June?" "I'll send officers to the hotel. If he's hurt, we'll get him medical attention. If he's been detained, we'll extract him." "And if Jae-hyun kills him first?" Detective Han's expression softened. "Then I'm sorry, but that's the risk June knew he was taking when he contacted me." She left. Naomi sat alone in the safe house, the walls pressing in. She thought about June, about the way he'd stepped in front of her, the way he'd told her to run. She thought about the video, about Jae-hyun's voice, cold and certain, planning her captivity before she'd even left. She thought about 3 years of her life, wasted, stolen, built on a foundation of lies. Her phone buzzed, June's phone, a text from an unknown number. "You have something of mine. Jae-hyun." Naomi's pulse spiked. She stared at the message, didn't respond. Another text appeared. "And I have something of yours." A photo loaded, June, tied to a chair, face bruised, blood on his shirt. Naomi's breath stopped. "Trade. You for him. Alone. No police, or I send him back to you in pieces." The next message was an address, a warehouse in an industrial district, the same place he'd taken her before. 1 hour. Naomi's hands shook. She should call Detective Han, should wait for the police to handle this. But June didn't have an hour. She grabbed her jacket and slipped out the back exit before the guards noticed. The warehouse district was empty at night, just shadows and rust and the distant sound of traffic. Naomi approached the building slowly, every instinct screaming to turn back. The door was unlocked. She stepped inside. The space was dark except for a single light in the center. Under it, June sat tied to a chair, head hanging forward. Naomi ran to him. "June, June, look at me." He lifted his head. One eye was swollen shut, blood crusted at the corner of his mouth. "You shouldn't have come," he whispered. "I couldn't leave you." "That's exactly what you should have done." Footsteps echoed from the shadows. Jae-hyun emerged, hands in his pockets, expression calm. "Naomi," he said, always so predictable. "Let him go." "In a moment. First, you're going to give me June's phone, the one with the video." "I don't have it." "Don't lie to me." "I gave it to the police. They have copies. They're building a case against you right now." Jae-hyun's smile didn't waver. "No, they're not. Because that video proves nothing. Just a man speaking his mind in private. Last I checked, that's not illegal. It proves you're a monster. It proves I'm honest. He stepped closer. But you running to the police? That's a problem. That suggests you might say other things. Make other accusations. True or not, accusations damage reputation. And I can't have that. So what? You're going to kill us both? I'm going to make you disappear permanently. And I'm going to make sure June watches before he follows. June's head snapped up. Touch her and I swear. You'll what? Jae-hyun crouched in front of him. You're tied to a chair, beaten, broken. You have no leverage here. I have the truth. The truth is whatever people believe, and no one will believe a disgraced lieutenant over me. Naomi's mind raced. The guards outside, the police who didn't know she'd left, Jun bleeding and broken. No way out. Except one. I'll stay, she said. Both men looked at her. I'll come back, Naomi continued. Willingly, publicly. I'll say whatever you want me to say. I'll never speak to police again. Just let him go. Jae-hyun stood slowly. You already tried that, and you ran the first chance you got. This time will be different. How? Because this time I know there's no escape. This time I'm choosing it. Naomi, no! June struggled against the restraints. She ignored him, kept her eyes on Jae-hyun. You wanted to prove you have control, that you always win. Fine, you win. Just let him live. Jae-hyun studied her. You'd give up everything? Your freedom? Your life? For him? Yes. Why? Because he's the only person who ever saw me as more than something to own. The words hung in the air. Jae-hyun's expression darkened. How touching. Unfortunately, I don't negotiate with people who've already betrayed me. He pulled a gun from his jacket. Naomi's breath stopped. Wait! June shouted. Jae-hyun pointed the gun at June's head. You wanted truth? Here it is. You were never my friend. You were useful. A tool, just like her. And tools get replaced when they break. Then replace me, June said, voice steady. But let her go. No. Jae-hyun, I said no. His finger moved to the trigger. The warehouse door exploded inward. Police flooded in. Tactical gear. Weapons drawn. Drop the gun! Hands up! Jae-hyun spun, gun still raised. Everything slowed down. Detective Han stepped forward, weapon trained on Jae-hyun. It's over. Drop it. You have nothing on me, Jae-hyun said. We have enough. Conspiracy to commit kidnapping, assault, unlawful imprisonment, and that's just tonight. Han's voice stayed level. Drop the weapon. Last warning. Jae-hyun looked at Naomi, at June, at the officers surrounding him. For the first time, something cracked in his expression. Not fear. Rage. If I can't have her, he said quietly. No one can. He swung the gun toward Naomi. 2 shots rang out. Jae-hyun dropped. The gun clattered across the concrete floor. Officers rushed forward. One kicked the weapon away. 2 more checked Jae-hyun's pulse. He's alive. Barely. Detective Han holstered her weapon and walked to Naomi. You okay? Naomi couldn't speak, couldn't move. Get her out of here, Han said to another officer, and get medical on him. She pointed at June. Paramedics appeared, cut June's restraints, checked his vitals, loaded him onto a stretcher. Naomi found her voice. Where are you taking him? Asan Medical, same as before. I'm coming with you. Miss, you need to give a statement. I'll give it at the hospital. I'm not leaving him. The paramedic nodded. Naomi climbed into the ambulance, sat beside June as they closed the doors. His good eye focused on her. You shouldn't have come. Stop saying that. I'm serious. You could have died. So could you. I was ready for that. Well, I wasn't ready to lose you. June's hand found hers, squeezed weakly. Detective Han tracked your phone. That's how they knew where we were. I left it at the safe house. No, I slipped a tracker in your jacket earlier at the hotel, just in case. Naomi stared at him. You planned this? I planned for worst-case scenarios. This qualified. You could have told me. You would have argued. Damn right I would have. June almost smiled, then winced. Is he dead? No, they said he's alive. Good. Good? I want him to stand trial. I want everyone to see what he is. Death's too easy. The ambulance lurched around a corner. June's face went pale. Save your strength, Naomi said. We'll deal with Jae-hyun later. We? Yes, we. This time June did smile. Small, pained, real. The hospital was chaos. Doctors, nurses, forms to sign, questions to answer. Detective Han arrived an hour later with 2 other officers. We need your statement, she said. Naomi gave it. Every detail. The penthouse, the overheard conversation, the manipulation, the threats, the warehouse. All of it. Han took notes, asked clarifying questions, recorded everything. This is good, she said finally. Combined with June's testimony and the physical evidence, we have enough to put Jae-hyun away for years. What about his organization? We've been monitoring them for months. Tonight gave us the opening we needed. Raids are happening as we speak. By morning, his entire operation will be dismantled. Naomi felt something loosen in her chest. So it's really over? The criminal case? Just beginning. But your part in it? Yes. You're free. The word didn't feel real yet. Free. Detective Han stood. Get some rest. We'll need you for the trial, but that's months away. For now, you're safe. She left. Naomi sat in the waiting room, watching the clock tick past midnight, past 1, past 2. Finally, a doctor emerged. Miss Carter? Yes. Mr. Park is stable. 3 broken ribs, concussion, significant bruising, but he'll recover. Can I see him? He's sleeping, but yes, room 512. Naomi took the elevator to the 5th floor, the same floor she'd been banned from weeks ago, the same hallway she'd walked trying to reach him. This time, no one stopped her. Room 512 was quiet, monitors beeping softly. June lay in bed, eyes closed, breathing steady. Naomi pulled a chair close, sat down, took his hand. His eyes opened. Hey. Hey yourself. They get your statement? All of it. Good. June shifted, wincing. So what happens now? Now you recover, and I figure out how to put my life back together. Together where? I don't know yet. Maybe Seoul? Maybe somewhere else. And us? Naomi looked at their joined hands. I don't know that either. Fair enough. Jun, it's okay. You don't owe me anything. I helped you because it was the right thing to do. Not because I expected something in return. I know, but that doesn't change the fact that you risked everything for me. That you saw me when no one else did. That you made me believe I was worth more than what Jae-hyun said I was. June's thumb brushed across her knuckles. You were always worth more. You just needed to see it yourself. I'm starting to. Good. That's a start. They sat in silence. Outside, Seoul continued its endless motion. Cars, lights, people living their lives. I'm scared, Naomi said quietly. Of what? Of everything. Of starting over. Of trusting someone again. Of letting you in and finding out this was all just trauma bonding or something equally broken. It might be, June said. I'm not going to lie and say we're starting from a healthy place. We're both damaged, both carrying weight, but maybe that's okay. Maybe we figure it out together. Or maybe we crash and burn. That's also possible. You're very reassuring, June smiled. I'm realistic. I've spent 10 years lying to myself about who Jae-hyun was. I'm done with pretty lies, even the ones that would make this easier. So what do you want? Really? I want time. With you. To see if this thing between us is real or just survival instinct. I want to wake up in a month, 6 months, a year, and see if we still choose each other when we're not running for our lives. And if we don't, then at least we'll know. And we'll both walk away having saved each other once. That's not nothing. Naomi felt tears slide down her face. How are you so calm about all this? I'm not. I'm terrified. But I've learned that fear is just information. It tells you what matters. And you matter, Naomi. However this ends up, you matter. She leaned forward, pressing her forehead to his. You matter too. They stayed like that until June fell asleep again. Naomi sat back, watching him breathe, and felt something she hadn't felt in years. Hope. 3 months later, Naomi stood outside a small cafe in Hongdae. The same neighborhood where she'd first seen June after leaving Jae-hyun. Different coffee shop, same uncertainty. She pushed through the door. June was already there, sitting by the window. No cast anymore, no visible bruises. Just the faint shadow of everything they'd survived. He looked up when she entered, smiled. Naomi sat down across from him. Sorry I'm late. You're always late. I know. It's a flaw I'm working on. How's that going? Terribly. June laughed. The sound was lighter than she remembered, less burdened. They ordered coffee, talked about small things, her new job teaching English at a university. His consulting work, legitimate this time, helping companies with security. Kimmy's new relationship. The trial date that kept getting pushed back. Jae-hyun was alive, in custody, awaiting trial on multiple charges. His empire had collapsed in the raids, associates arrested, assets frozen. The man who'd once controlled half of Seoul's underground now sat in a cell, waiting for justice. It should have felt like victory. Mostly it just felt like relief. I saw the headlines, June said. They're calling you the woman who brought down a criminal empire. I hate it. I didn't bring down anything. I just survived. You did more than survive. You testified. You gave them everything they needed. So did you. We both did. That's the point. June reached across the table, took her hand. We did it together. Naomi looked at their joined hands. 3 months ago, she couldn't imagine touching him without flinching, without seeing Jae-hyun's shadow. Now she just saw June. I've been thinking, she said. About what you said, in the hospital, about giving this time, seeing if it's real. And I think it is. Real. I mean, messy and complicated and probably unhealthy in ways we haven't even discovered yet, but real. June's expression softened. Yeah? Yeah. Naomi took a breath. I'm scared. I'm probably going to be scared for a long time, but I want to try. With you. If you still want to. I do. Even knowing how damaged I am. Even knowing. Because I'm damaged too. And maybe we balance each other out. Or maybe we're just two broken people trying to build something that doesn't hurt. Either way, I'm in. Naomi felt something break open in her chest. Not painful, just the release of tension she'd carried for so long she'd forgotten it was there. Okay, she said. Okay? Let's try. June stood, came around the table, pulled her up into a hug. She let him hold her, let herself be held. For the first time in 3 years, she felt safe in someone's arms. Not because they promised protection, but because they promised truth. They left the cafe together, walked through Hongdae as the afternoon light turned gold, past street vendors and buskers and couples taking photos. Where are we going? Naomi asked. I don't know. Does it matter? I guess not. They walked without destination, just moving, together. Somewhere behind them, in a cell across the city, Jae-hyun Kang sat alone with his rage and his failure. Somewhere ahead, the future waited, uncertain, unwritten. But for the first time since the night she'd stood outside that penthouse door, Naomi wasn't afraid of what came next, because she wasn't facing it alone. 6 months after that, Naomi got a call from Detective Han. Verdict's in, Han said. Already? He pled guilty, took a deal. 20 years, no parole. Naomi sat down. 20 years? Could have been more if he'd gone to trial, but his lawyers advised him to take it. The evidence was overwhelming. So it's over, really over. For you? Yes. For him? He'll be an old man when he gets out. If he gets out. Naomi closed her eyes. Thank you. For everything. You did the hard part. I just followed where you led. They hung up. Naomi sat for a long time, processing. 20 years. Jae-hyun would be in his 60s when he was released. His empire gone, his reputation destroyed, his control shattered. She should have felt triumphant. Instead, she just felt tired. Her phone buzzed. June, heard about the verdict. You okay? Yeah, can you come over? On my way. He arrived 30 minutes later, let himself in with the keys she'd given him last month. Found her on the couch, staring at nothing. He sat beside her, didn't ask questions, just waited. It's done, Naomi said finally. I know. I thought I'd feel different, relieved, or happy or something. And you don't? I just feel empty. June put his arm around her. That's normal. You spent years of your life with him. Even though he hurt you, even though he was terrible, it's still a loss. You're allowed to grieve that. I don't want to grieve him. Then grieve who you were before all this. The version of yourself you lost when you stayed too long. That's worth mourning. Naomi leaned into him. When did you get so wise? Therapy. Lots of therapy. She almost laughed. They sat together as the afternoon faded into evening, as Soul's lights began to glow outside the window. What do you want to do tonight? June asked. Nothing. Just this. This works for me. Naomi closed her eyes, felt June's steady breathing, felt the weight of 3 years finally lifting. She thought about the woman she'd been, the one who'd carried food across the city for a man who called her convenient, the one who'd stood outside a door and heard the truth but taken months to accept it. That woman was gone. In her place was someone harder, scarred, but free. I love you, she said quietly. June's hand tightened on her shoulder. Say that again. I love you. You're sure? No, but I'm saying it anyway. June pulled back to look at her. His eyes were bright. I love you too. Have for a while now. I know. You know? I'm not blind, June. You're terrible at hiding it. He smiled. Fair enough. Naomi kissed him, soft, tentative, testing the shape of something new. He kissed her back, patient, present. When they pulled apart, June touched her face. We're going to be okay. You don't know that. I believe it. That's close enough. Naomi wanted to argue, wanted to list all the ways they could still fail, all the trauma and fear and damage they carried. But she didn't, because June was right. Belief was close enough. 1 year later, Naomi stood in front of a classroom at Seoul National University. 20 students looked up at her, waiting. Today we're discussing the difference between running from something and running towards something, she said. Who can tell me why that distinction matters? A student raised her hand. Because one is fear and one is hope? Close. Both can be fear, both can be hope. The difference is intention. Are you letting something push you, or are you choosing your direction? Another student spoke up. How do you know which one you're doing? Naomi paused, thought about a penthouse, a warehouse, a hospital room. You don't always know, she said. Sometimes you run on instinct and only understand why later. But eventually, you have to stop running and ask yourself, where am I actually trying to go? The class continued. Naomi taught, answered questions, watched her students wrestle with ideas. When it ended, she packed her bag and headed for the door. June was waiting outside, leaning against the wall, reading. He looked up when she appeared. How'd it go? Good. I think I'm getting better at this. You were always good at it. You're biased. Completely. They walked across campus together, past libraries and cafeterias, and students sprawled on the grass. Dinner? June asked. I'm cooking tonight. Should I be worried? Probably. They took the subway to Naomi's apartment, a one-bedroom in Mangwon-dong, small, bright, hers. June had his own place across town. They talked about moving in together, decided to wait, give themselves space to be individuals before becoming a unit. It was working, slowly, imperfectly, but working. Naomi cooked, June helped. They ate at the small table by the window, watching the sunset over Seoul. Kimmy called, Naomi said. She and Minseo are getting married. That's fast? 6 months. But when you know, apparently. You sound skeptical. I sound cautious. There's a difference. June smiled. Fair. She wants me to be maid of honor. You gonna do it? Of course. She stood by me when I had nothing. I owe her everything. You don't owe anyone anything, Naomi. I know, but I want to be there anyway. That's different. They cleaned up together, washed dishes, put away leftovers. June's phone buzzed. He checked it, frowned. What? Naomi asked. Message from my lawyer. Jae-hyun's team is filing an appeal. Naomi's chest tightened. Can they do that? They can try. Doesn't mean it'll work. The evidence was solid. But it's not over. It might never be completely over. Men like him don't accept defeat, but that doesn't mean we stop living. Naomi sat down. I'm so tired of looking over my shoulder. June joined her on the couch. Then don't. Look forward instead. Easier said than done. I know, but we've already survived the worst of it. Whatever comes next, we'll handle it. Together? Together. Naomi leaned against him. I hate that I still let him take up space in my head. He's going to for a while. Maybe forever. Trauma doesn't have an expiration date, but it gets smaller, less loud. You learn to live around it. Is that what you did? Still doing it, every day, but it gets easier. They sat in comfortable silence. Outside, Seoul hummed with life. Inside, two people who'd been broken were slowly becoming whole, not fixed, not perfect, just whole enough. 2 years after the verdict, Naomi received a letter. No return address. Prison postmark. She stared at it for 3 days before opening it. Inside, a single page. Jae-hyun's handwriting. Naomi, I don't expect forgiveness. I don't deserve it. But I needed you to know that I've had 2 years to think about what I did, about who I was, about the person I turned you into. You were right. I never saw you. Not really. I saw what I wanted you to be. Convenient. Controllable. Mine. I told myself I loved you, but love doesn't destroy. Love doesn't diminish. What I felt was ownership, possession. And I'm sorry. I know sorry doesn't fix anything, doesn't undo the damage, but it's all I have. You deserved better. You deserved someone who saw your strength and didn't try to break it. Someone who understood that love means letting go. I hope you found that. I hope you're happy. I hope you never think of me again. J.H. Naomi read the letter twice, then burned it in the sink, watched the paper curl and blacken, watched the smoke rise and disappear. June found her there, staring at the ashes. What was that? Closure, or an attempt at it. From him? Yeah. You okay? Naomi turned. I am, actually. I thought I'd be angry or hurt, but I just feel nothing. He's a stranger now. Someone who hurt me once but doesn't anymore. That's growth. Feels like it. June wrapped his arms around her from behind, rested his chin on her shoulder. I'm proud of you. For what? For surviving. For choosing yourself. For becoming someone who doesn't need his apology to move forward. Naomi placed her hands over his. I couldn't have done it without you. Yes, you could have. You're stronger than you think. Maybe. But I'm glad I didn't have to find out. They stood there together. Two people who'd walked through fire and come out scarred, but standing. The ashes cooled in the sink. Outside, life continued. And for the first time in years, Naomi looked toward the future and felt something other than fear. She felt possibility. 3 years after everything ended, Naomi married June in a small ceremony at a garden in Bukchon. Kimmy was maid of honor. June's sister stood beside him. 20 people total. Simple, intimate, real. No press, no spectacle, no performance. Just two people choosing each other. Again, intentionally. The officiant asked them to speak their vows. June went first. I promise to see you every day, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. I promise to choose you without owning you, to love you without controlling you, to stand beside you, not in front of you. And when you forget who you are, I promise to remind you. Naomi's turn. I promise to trust you, even when my past tells me not to. I promise to let you in, to share the dark parts, to believe that you won't use them against me. I promise to choose myself first so I can choose you from a place of strength, not need. And I promise to see you too, all of you, the broken parts and the beautiful parts, and love them the same. They exchanged rings, simple bands, no diamonds. The officiant smiled. I now pronounce you married. You may kiss. They did. Around them, 20 people clapped. Someone took photos. Someone else cried. But Naomi only saw June, only felt his hands on her face, only heard his whispered, I love you, against her lips. The reception was held in the same garden, tables under string lights, food from the restaurant where they'd had their first real date. Dancing to music June had spent weeks curating. Kimmy pulled Naomi aside during the third song. You look happy. I am. Really happy. Not performing happy. Really happy. Kimmy hugged her. I'm so glad you got out, that you found this. Me too. You know what the best part is? What? You saved yourself. June helped. I helped. But you did the hardest part. You walked away. You chose different. That was all you. Naomi's eyes burned. Stop. You're going to make me cry. Good. Cry. You've earned it. They stood together watching June dance badly with his sister, watching the lights glow, watching the night unfold like a promise kept. Later, when the guests had left and the garden was quiet, Naomi and June walked through the paths hand in hand. We did it, June said. We really did. What now? Now we live. We build something that doesn't hurt. We wake up every day and choose each other, and we see what happens. Sounds simple. It is. And it isn't. June stopped walking, turned to face her. I meant what I said. In my vows. I see you, Naomi. And what I see is someone brave. Someone who survived hell and came out believing in love anyway. That's extraordinary. I don't feel extraordinary. You don't have to. I feel it for both of us. Naomi kissed him, long, slow, tasting the future on his lips. When they pulled apart, June smiled. Ready to go home? Where's home? Wherever we are. Together? Then yes, I'm ready. They walked out of the garden. Into the soul night. Into the life they'd built from the ruins of everything that came before. Behind them, the past faded. Ahead, the future waited. And Naomi Carter, the woman who'd once been called convenient, temporary, replaceable, stepped forward into it. Not as someone's possession, but as herself. Whole, free, chosen, and finally, completely her own.